FOMO is back and stocks are on a rocket ship higher today. So is it time to just do it? Is it time to buy? And if so, what stocks are we buying during the market crash? Look at SMH today, which is chips. It's time to just do it, baby. There's the Nike swoosh. There's the Nike swoosh. Let's look at NVIDIA. Nike swoosh. Time to just do it. So the US is getting closer to green lighting NVIDIA chip sales to Saudi Arabia, and that's a big deal. Look at the old kids cool club. What is it? It's the Magnificent Seven. It's the Cool Kids Club. They're moving higher, but there's FOMO. So what exactly do we do, and what exactly is this FOMO? Well, let's read Jensen Huang here. He's telling us that NVIDIA CEO says customer relations are tense due to shortages. We have emotional customers today. Why? Because there's an AI boom happening. Specifically, the demand on it is so great, and everyone wants to be first, and everyone wants the most. We probably have very emotional customers today. It's tense. We're trying to do our best we can. And the guy seems like he's trying to pump. This was at a Goldman Sachs conference today. And then in the title of today's video, OpenAI fundraising set to vault startup to more than $150 billion in value. Whoa. I thought they were going to be a nonprofit. Nope. No, sir. They're restructuring and they're taking in $6.5 billion in equity. And they're going to also be getting access to $5 billion. This is when only about 2 weeks ago, August 28th, they were at $100 billion valuation. So they've grown it by about 50. Yeah, I would say there's some FOMO out there, even from big tech. Remember, the biggest companies in the world are participating. NVIDIA's putting money in, Apple's putting money in, Microsoft is putting more money in. Interesting. So even these big guys are feeling FOMO. Yep. Make the market cap go up. That's a really big valuation. That's a big number, 150 billion. Morgan Stanley's Mike Wilson today told us that he thinks the AI theme is overcooked. And that's why we got the swoosh. So initially going down, and then all the way back up, baby, elevator up. And if it's really overcooked, we're going to see the follow-up from that fairly shortly here. Why? Well, $150 billion valuation for OpenAI. And the person who left, Ilya, this person right here, he just got given $1 billion for an idea. They're like, cool, you have an idea? Here you go. Oh, you want to call it SSI? Boom, here you go, $1 billion. All right. So if we're really going to get FOMO beyond just these stocks, what would that look like? Well, let's go here to the heat map. Let's look at 1 week. We can look at charts, and we'll definitely look at charts a little bit later in the show. But here's a thing I want to be mindful of. If you let me give me about 2 or 3 more minutes, I promise I will give you a takeaway. Bullish engulfing daily candle today, back above the 50 DMA. Is this the same thing as last time where we're going to sustain and move higher? Or is it a bit of a fizzle where, yes, we're just going up a little bit? That's exactly what I want to talk about today. So if you can bear with me for about 2 or 3 more minutes, that's really what I want to get through, because right now, as I'm pulling this up, over here on the left-hand side, this is updated as of today. I did it on the morning stream. Bitcoin on the left, S&P on the right. 1-2 downtrend taps, lower highs. Then we reject on the 50 DMA. Well, as of this morning, it was a rejection, but boom, right in the kisser. The bulls were able to snap it back and actually give us a bullish engulfing daily candle. So what does that mean? It means if tomorrow we're able to not drop by roughly 1%, if we don't go lower by 1% tomorrow, we're basically going to be holding that 50 DMA on 2 candle closes. So was this a trap? These 3 days below? Hey, it could have been. It's always a trap. So stay tuned and we'll walk you through that. All right, Nike swoosh. Let's go up. Bearish, bullish engulfing daily candles. But there's still work to do. On a 1 week, yes, tech is still hurting. Let's look at a 1 month. And QQQ is still soft. Let's look what soft means. QQQ is soft, but it's still a bullish engulfing daily candle. It is now approaching its 50 DMA. We're also still channeling lower. Why are we channeling lower? Well, because we're not going up right now. Still just a dead cat bounce. High, lower, high. We're not sure what's going to happen here. So as we're trying to consolidate, it's really important we watch what's happening here. Volume's also increasing. So it means that the number of trades is going up. All right, almost done here. 1 month. Hey, it's pretty much a green party, unless you're energy. And what is that? We'll talk about that in 1 second here. Let's look at a quarter, though. There's what everyone's talking about. Yes, it's a few companies. Let's go to no group. Why? Hey, it's pretty broadly green. We're going to see that if we look at RSP. If now we go to year to date, there's our good old friend, Mr. Green, year to date. 137%. That's right. All these stocks are doing really good. Again, double-digit gains on a year is good. And the year's not over, so there's definitely FOMO. For good reason today, though. Like NVIDIA's up by 8%. That's a huge move. All right, $150 billion valuation. AI is overcooked, though, right? Mr. Mike Wilson says it's going to fizzle out. Cool. Well, that means there's sellers. There's people who have to buy who are not in yet. We're almost going back into neutral. So remember, we talked about a couple ingredient recipe. And just before we go further, I kind of forgot. If you guys don't mind, please smash in the thumbs up or subscribing to the channel. I would greatly appreciate that. So with a bullish engulfing daily candle and getting back above the 50 DMA, if we get two or another one tomorrow, that's the part of my recipe. I think we'll get there if we get another daily candle close over the 50. Cool. But everyone thought we were going to go down. Yes, 2.5 thousand people voted, by the way. Thank you for voting. Approaching 60 is a fairly high reading. So, hey, if you invested in Mr. Donald Trump, you were right, because the Trump trades are dialed back even more after the debate. And I just saw a headline that he's declining to do another interview. Another debate. I'm not saying that's good or bad, but the market voted today, and DJT is down by 10%. A good proxy for the other candidate. Solar stocks are up by 6.3%. So you fired and you hired. That's what it looks like to me. Looking to the economic data today that I thought would also be really important. CPI on a year over year coming down to 2.5. Hey, that's perfect. The month over month is coming in a little bit hotter. It's at 0.3. But this is the number the Fed focuses on. And remember, the Fed does not even look at CPI. They care about PCE. We're getting so close to 2 that we've now got through the presidential debate, CPI, the 10-year auction. Tomorrow we got the ECB. They're going to cut, right? Let's just face it. They're going to probably cut tomorrow. That's fine. And then we got the 30-year auction. And then next week it's Jerome and ES rollover. So maybe the reason why the market's up a little bit today is because with that guy over your shoulder, maybe the job wouldn't be quite as easy. We already know Jerome's already going to leave, but maybe now it's time to, all right, hold my beer, guys. Time to go up, right? Elevator higher. So remember, the stock market loves a few things. It loves certainty. It doesn't seem like a lot of people are on the fence about who is going to win and who's going to lose the election. What I know is that after the data or the reaction to the news of everything I thought that would be important leading up to, again, the big one, whether Jerome says you fired or you hired, I don't know. That's the really big deal. 25 or 50, we'll talk about that on the weekend. But as of right now, the news versus the reaction to the news. Going into this week, we had one lower high and one lower low on the S&P 500. And right now we have an inside bar, which means indecision. So if we have indecision, but we're up by 2.6 on the week, but we're still red on the month, we're down by 1.6%. Which pattern do we look to? Well, we look to both, because as of right now, as we talked about yesterday, these two relative lows are acting pretty much as support. That's giving us an inverse head and shoulders here. Shoulder, shoulder, head. So to make it really simple, what it means is that the reaction to the news, net effect as of Wednesday's close on a weekly, means that we now have a chance to reverse, to build up some steam and make a run to the all-time high. If the net effect is going to be that Jerome's going to say, yeah, boys, hold my beer, time to go up. I don't care who wins the presidential election. What I do care about is that the market wants certainty. As of right now, the certainty is that the AI boom seems real. If we have inflation coming down and jobs are stabilizing, which is what the data is saying, and we now have a pretty certain terms of who is going to run in the election, the market can now price that in. Has there been enough priced in? Were these dips here enough? Hey, we're going to find out. It's pretty obvious. If we look at the weekly chart, now that we know that if we get back to neutral and we get 2 daily candle closes over the 50, that sets things up for next week. If we don't form a break, we'd have to get all the way up to 561 this week. Not sure that's going to happen. So we're likely going to get an inside bar, but everything can change in a day or two. Look at NVIDIA here. Why? Well, with that headline, we now have a weekly higher high and we're currently over it. We might even get another month of expansion. Why? We have a hollow candle here. So if we can close over that candle high, which it looks like we're going to do, hey, that's a pretty strong snapback, 13.7%. And there's a lot of other stocks which have slammed down to support, but they still have a little bit more work to do. QQQ, we can see the pattern right here. We talked about it on the weekend. Is resistance going to act as support where we now move higher or pivot off the pink line? That's pretty important. We still have an inside bar. And in order for us to change the trend to going up again, we have to stop forming lower highs. We got to start forming higher highs. So that's it for today's video. Thanks so much for tuning in. If you want to see me tomorrow at 9:15, you can click on the right. If not, I look forward to seeing you on the next video. Thanks so much.